Webflow just dropped a bomb by acquiring GSAP, also known as GreenSock. You've probably heard of them. If you want to build any animation for the web, they are pretty much the default. They are that good. And all of this news was a part of the Webflow Conference 2024. I'll go through everything Webflow announced in the conference and tell you what I think. So the first thing they announced was the new navigation design. So this is not a big change in the UI. They just cleaned up a few things. The left bar is much cleaned up, and then the CMS icon and the preview are on the top corner, and also the top center it's now more contextual and it makes more sense. The next update is really sweet. You know Webflow component. So we basically make a Webflow component to reuse it throughout the site, and we can change the content. So far, if you wanted to make a variation of that component, you would have to duplicate it, and then you would have two different components. But now Webflow supports component variations. Imagine like a class, but for the entire component, not just for one element. So you can have a vertical and a horizontal card all within one component, and you just can simply switch it to show each. This is great for building a system for marketers. This is a theme throughout the entire presentation for marketers to be able to build a new page based on these components, their variations, and also, the ease of just changing the content. With that, we go to the next one, which is about page building as a new role. So previously we had the editor and the designer role. As an editor, you can change the content, designer can basically build everything, and now we have a marketer role that can make a page and add components that we as developers have set and built, and they can choose the variations, and multiple marketers that actually can work on the same page on the same component at the same time. Pretty much like what all marketers dream of. Next update is also in line with these changes. They made design approval. So basically you can have a rule for people who in the team who cannot publish to the domain. So they can make changes, but they cannot publish them. They have to ask for reviews, which can be, mandatory reviews or optional reviews. This is also really nice for bigger teams. Another cool publishing update is regarding CMS items. Now you can change a CMS item, and that item goes into draft mode automatically. Then you can individually publish them. You don't have to publish the entire site just to publish one CMS item. You can do it now individually. These are arguably smaller updates. Another thing they did with CMS is increasing the API limit, or basically like the number of requests you can do. They talked about increasing the CMS nesting limit, but they didn't say by how much. And this was very disappointing, honestly, because there are some CMS limitations. We don't deal with them in every single project, but they are a thing. And I would really love to see these limitations to be lifted or gone completely. Next, they talked about localization and a few updates. So localization, the feature that allows you to create multiple languages, that was already shipped. And what they changed is the pricing. The pricing was not really affordable. For most features, or like the best features, you would have to go to the enterprise plan, which is really, really expensive. But now you can have up to 10 locals, so double as much as before in the middle tier, which is like a good price. And also you can stylize each local differently. So for each language, you can have a different style on each element. This is great. This was only available on enterprise, but now even on the lowest tier plan, it's available. The community was really clear about this. We requested this, and thank you, Webflow, for delivering this. This is a much needed, and it was a shame to have it locked only, for the enterprise plan. All right, next feature is pretty big, and it's AI 2024. Every company talks about AI. And Webflow has one, and it's in actually multiple places. So an instance of that AI is an AI assistant that can help you build new sections. What's really interesting is that it looks at the context of your page and your site, and it builds based on your system. It looks at the classes that you have, the design system, the colors, everything that you have, and based on those can add a new section that you want. Not just the section, it can also add the content of that section, looking at the content of the page. That's really sweet. That's much better than, other implementations of AI that basically give you a very generic thing. This one is very specific and very integrated. It literally looks at your content and code and makes something for you. And if you don't like it, you can always change it up. So that was great. Another part where AI is really helpful is in the CMS. And now you can use the Webflow AI to write an entire, let's say, blog post for you. What's really great about it is it looks at the context of the blog post, or like the fields that you have in your CMS, in your each CMS item. So you have fields, it looks at each and it populates everything based on even the past items that you have in your blog. So it knows the context of your website. It looks at your, style of writing, the fields that you have, everything. And it, with that full context, it populates everything. And you can go into each field and of course change the fields one by one. This is really great. And if you compare this to something like ChatGPT, ChatGPT basically gives you something without this context. It doesn't know which fields you have. In this case, you have, let's say, a field for what's really helpful for us, a field for title tag and meta description. Now we can just populate all of this based on, the full context of the blog post. I don't have to go to ChatGPT and say, this is the blog post, write a, meta description for this and keep it in this limit. Now Webflow AI can handle all of this. All right, before going to the bigger updates, there were a few smaller updates to the marketplace and the apps, nothing major. Something that is nice to have is a seamless transfer. Now we don't have to basically detach hosting from a project in order to bring it from a workspace to another. They also talked about client payments and project fees. We basically will be able to allow our clients to enter their credit card. They will be paying for the project, but we will be controlling the project. That's the sweet spot. And also, not just that, we can add like a price on top of it, like a retainer, and charge our clients with the regular hosting. So they pay like a monthly fee for the hosting, and on top of that, something for us. Still don't know if Webflow is going to take a cut or not. Regardless, this is really sweet. And I think this is going to enable so many opportunities. Just one of my friends mentioned taking a template and then use this new system to set up a project for a client and just get monthly payment. And you can have this as your, one tool for everything business. So that's nice. All right, now let's talk about the last 3 big changes. One of them being Webflow Analyze. Imagine just Google Analytics in Webflow. There is no need to set up anything, and it will automatically just work out of the box as an add-on. It's a paid add-on. You have to pay monthly per project. Fairly expensive, but yeah, if you want an all-in one tool, it does basically track everything and tells you how many visitors you have per page, the CTAs, how they are performing, everything, analytics. It's not as good as something like Microsoft Clarity, which is free. It also has an app that you can use in Webflow. So yeah, you are going to pay for Webflow Analyze. It's very nice. Like, it has a nice UI and everything, no setup. Or Microsoft Clarity, which is free and also has an app in the designer with probably 2 minutes of setup. I don't know. You do you, but nonetheless, Webflow Analyze is pretty sweet. The next one is kind of related to Webflow Analyze. It's called Webflow Optimize. So you look at data and then you optimize based on it. We saw Webflow Optimize coming because Webflow acquired a company called Intellimize, which is like an AI optimization company. That's why we saw this coming. And this is honestly a huge deal. This is also a paid add-on, $300 per month per project. Pretty expensive, but it was mind-blowing. So let's say you have a website. It's not a finished product. It's a living thing. I've learned this through my 5 years of experience building websites for clients. We build the websites, we ship it, but then we have to look at the customer behavior, and it's different in each industry, in each website, in each design. You can't say this design or like this amount of words will work for every business. That's where optimization comes in. And this optimization is done with AI. A lot of AI that it's not this ChatGPT wrapper AI. IntelliMice has been building their AI for this specific task in the past 10 years. So what it does, it basically allows you to have segments of users. That's how I understand it, like different user types, because different users have different behaviors, and you can optimize for them. For example, you say, for this type of users that have spent this amount of time on my website in the past 30 days, show them this set of design. So you can have like a variation of your page with different heading, with different paragraph, with different image, different CTA, all of this per user groups. And this adds up to literally hundreds of different variations. Just imagine your landing page is not one landing page. It's literally hundreds of landing pages that are being optimized real time with AI in like different times for different types of users to basically get the most of the, whatever you want. Like you want people to sign up, you want people buy, whatever it is. This is borderline scary. I'm pretty jealous that I don't have like a tool or product to sell that I could use this for. I might just, because of this, figure something out. Yes, it's $300 per month, but looking at this many opportunities that it gives you, it's basically a no-brainer for a business that makes any type of money. So yeah, this one blew our mind. But the last update is something that not just blew us out of the water, we just didn't see it coming. It was just like a hit from nowhere. Everybody was like, wowed. So Webflow acquired GSAP, and that came out of nowhere. At the end of the conference, they said, we have one last thing. And then Vlad, the co-founder of Webflow, he talked about animations. And then IX3, we currently have the IX2. That's the animation engine, the UI we use to build Webflow animations. They talked about the next generation of that, IX3. They talked about GSAP, and they just said they acquired GSAP in order to build IX3. This is like a crazy deal. This is like very big. I'm a big believer in animations and interactions, of course, used in the right way for the right reason as a part of like the UX of the website. Part of it is these interactions, and all of that run by GSAP. It's amazing. We've been using GSAP in our past projects because they are really good. Webflow animations are easy to use. What Webflow is good at is making UI for code. What GSAP is good at is making animation library that is lightweight and performant. And these two together, I cannot wait to see what they are going to make. So this was pretty much all the updates. Again, most of the things that they announced were not like very big. The GSAP, Optimize, Analyze, they are really nice. I'm looking forward to them. Project fees, a very nice to have option. AI assistant, it was about time to have an AI assistant there. Very sweet. And component style variants, making variations of components. Probably one of my favorite updates among the smaller updates that are not paid. So this was it. Let me know what you think. Which one is your favorite? Did I miss something? And let me know in the comment section. I'll be there hanging around with you and we'll chat. This was it. Thank you for watching and see you around. Bye bye.